gentleman from New York City comes in and says, Mr. Chairman, have you heard that there were 6 Capitol staff officers arrested today over $140 million fraud charges?
No, I did not hear that, and I'm sorry to hear it.
He's cut and pasted a little piece here. It says, quote, 6 former executives and brokers of Sky Capital, a New York brokerage, have been charged with a $140 million transatlantic boiler room fraud that law enforcement says reeled in the United Kingdom and the United States investors. Reeled in United Kingdom and United States investors. I'll get that link, and he's telling me if
send that to me. Send it to me, and I'll put it in.
Okay, I'll get it down to you. He's sending me the link now.
Well, you're going to see lots of them, because in every industry there's dishonesty, and Wall Street seems to have a capitalized pole position for being crooks. And I can say that with assurance because I was there for 28 years.
From Kansas City, Mr. Chairman, the FDIC has made a public announcement that they're seeking public funding to aid the failed banks that they're foreclosing on. Last week they closed down 7 banks in Illinois at 10 minutes before 6 p.m. on Friday. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation may attempt to close more. What do you feel? How do you feel about the public funding offer that they are asking?
It's stupid. They have $13 billion left in the can. They're trying to get $500 billion from Congress, and they'll get it. This should give you the proportion that we're dealing with here. If they take all the deposits in America, and Congress was to give them $700 billion, they'd be able to cover 1% of net deposits in the United States. So what I'm saying here is if all the banks, because the banking system went down, everybody get a penny on the dollar.
Ask Mr. Chairman a comment about the payout program and the recent Christopher Story's deduction in an article that there is a holdup is due. That this holdup is due to the requirement of reports from sources of funds leading to a massive, that will be leading to a massive audit by the IRS and prison time for the Fed, Fed, the Treasury, in parentheses, and the present administration, as well as the cabal who is orchestrating the massive theft of American dollars.
Well, the answer is, in all probability, that's correct. I mean, people just don't have any idea what the corruption is. It's vastly beyond what you can even consider. It's been going on for 96 years. I mean, they own 85-90% of the wealth in America. I mean, not just the Fed, but the wealthy people who control the Fed. And, you know, all they do is have Congress raise taxes to keep the machine going. Well, they steal all the money.
I have a retired gunnery sergeant in Washington, D.C., who says that there's scuttlebutt here at the lunch hour today, referring that the Senate is blocking an investigation of the Fed. Do you have any input on that?
Well, they did the other day when Senator DeMint tried to attach S-604, which is similar to Ron Paul's bill, on investigating the Fed. He tried to attach it to a spending measure, and Democrats, and other senators, by a voice vote, defeated the attachment of the amendment. And the reason why they do that is use a voice vote, is because they don't want anybody to know how they voted. And there will be trouble there. But we got a good chance still of passing it.
So if the United States House of Representatives moves the bill through and throws it to the Senate, can they do the same thing on voting that bill down as a voice vote?
No.
Okay.
No. They can get it to the floor if they can get it out of committee.
Oh, so Pelosi's the one that's holding it up.
Yeah, and that weird Barney Frank.
Okay, weird Barney Frank. Barney Frank.
Well, I don't know what else you call him. I mean, what kind of a person runs a homosexual whorehouse? And that's a fact.
I have some good words for him, but they're not. This is the 5 o'clock hour in Central Time Zone, and I know that there's some children out there listening out in California. Betty Brigade has a few rugrats running around him. My choice words would offend a lot of people. Mr. Chapman, what is those of us that are unemployed, that are trying to eke out a living as consultants, do we have hope?
On the short term, no. It's going to be very difficult over the next 5 years at least. And how it's going to end up, I just don't know. It's not going to be good. Congress refuses to respond, but respond only to the bankers and Wall Street and insurance and pharmaceuticals, and they don't care about us. And if that continues, it's going to lead to violence.
Gunnery Sergeant from San Diego, retired. Mr. Chapman, I'm retired E7 gunning with 22 years in the Corps. My wife is a real estate broker owning an agency here with 3 other girls. I do lawn work at the present time, and to make ends meet, do you feel that the property values in California will go up or continue to decline with the fact that the government of California is now broke and issuing IOUs to school teachers?
Well, they're issuing them to everybody, and there's a market for them now. The banks, after tomorrow, won't accept them. And I don't know what the market's going to be, but my guess is they'll sell for about a 30 or 40% discount for people who really need money immediately. And it's a disgrace. And I lived in California for 36 years, so I'm very familiar about how it all happened. To answer your question, real estate is going considerably lower in California.
I have my personal comment there, Mr. Chapman, is to rhyme in with your personal feelings of the disgrace. Is back in the 30s when the state of Arkansas issued IOUs or script paper to employees of the state. 2 wealthy individuals, one by the name of Worthen, the other one by the name of Stevens, i.e. Jack Stevens, the family behind the election of William Jefferson Clinton. They bought this script paper for 10 cents on the dollar with the revenue that they had in gold and silver prior to 1933 when gold was taken in, and then they issued out U.S. dollar treasury notes for the script for 10 cents on the dollar, equating to well over $3 million of their money that they bought, but what they purchased was well over $50 million of script paper that the state of Arkansas had to make good on, and did make good on over the next 6 or 7 years. Is this some form of a ploy behind the scenes? My question to you, is this some form of a ploy behind the scenes to issue script paper to the masses, and then the wealthy come in and offer 10 cents, 20 cents on the dollar, so these people are really being paid 1/10 of what they're really worth?